Good evening. Tonight we take an in-depth look at the final months of one of Britain's most beloved television personalities, Caroline Flack. Known as the warm, approachable face of Love Island UK and a winner on Strictly Come Dancing, Caroline captivated audiences with her charm and authenticity. Yet behind the glittering lights of television fame, the presenter's life had taken a darker turn in the months leading to her tragic death on February 15, 2020. The new series, Caroline Flack, Search for the Truth, examines these last months, focusing on the allegations of assault that shook her world and the role of media scrutiny in shaping her mental and emotional state. The series, produced by the makers of the 2021 documentary Caroline Flack, Her Life and Death, concentrates on the period following a December 2019 incident involving her boyfriend, Lewis Burton. Caroline's mother, Christine Flack, has taken an active role in investigating the circumstances surrounding her daughter's death. Through interviews with experts, former publicists, and legal professionals, Christine scrutinizes inconsistencies in the official narrative, questioning whether Caroline's high-profile status amplified the legal and public consequences of what might have otherwise been a private dispute. The series presents a methodical, forensic look at the facts, avoiding sensationalism in favor of clarity and justice. Christine Flack's determination is a central thread of the series. She engages directly with media outlets, consults with a former Met detective, and sifts through the evidence surrounding the case. Her goal is clear: to ensure that her daughter's story is accurately represented and that any misrepresentation or exaggeration is addressed. One of her major points of contention concerns the media coverage of the incident, including graphic images published of a bloodied bedroom. The series highlights that the blood belonged to Caroline, not her partner. Yet the public narrative framed it as something far more sinister. Through Christine's lens, viewers are asked to question how fame and scrutiny can distort the perception of events. The program also addresses Caroline's mental health during this period. Texts, voice notes, and testimonies from close friends, such as Molly, reveal escalating anxiety and fear for the future. Rather than portraying Caroline as a domestic abuser, the series emphasizes her vulnerability and the immense pressure of public scrutiny. Statements from Nazir Afzal, former chief prosecutor of the CPS, underscore the disconnect between legal procedure and the reality of Caroline's circumstances. Afzal, who once considered the case straightforward, struggles to reconcile the harsh treatment Caroline received with the evidence of her actions, highlighting systemic issues in the intersection of justice, fame, and mental health. The series delves into the inconsistencies that Christine Flack identified in the handling of her daughter's case. According to her investigation, Caroline caused minimal physical harm during the incident with Lewis Burton, yet the public narrative painted her as an aggressor. Press coverage amplified this perception, with sensational headlines and graphic images creating a distorted story. The Sun, for instance, published photographs of a blood-stained bedroom, describing it as a violent scene, when in reality the injuries were self-inflicted by Caroline herself. The program examines how such media coverage can escalate the pressures on individuals already dealing with mental health struggles, raising critical questions about ethical journalism and the responsibility of news outlets when reporting on vulnerable public figures. Caroline's emotional state, already fragile, was exacerbated by intense social media scrutiny. The series presents screenshots and examples of online speculation, harassment, and commentary that contributed to her anxiety and sense of isolation. Christine Flack, navigating the aftermath of her daughter's death, methodically pieces together evidence that suggests Caroline was treated differently by the justice system because of her celebrity status. Experts consulted in the documentary, including former legal and law enforcement officials, explore the broader implications of this case, emphasizing how public figures often face heightened consequences for incidents that might be handled differently for non-celebrities. This segment is both a personal exploration and a societal critique, asking viewers to consider how fame interacts with justice. The program also highlights Caroline's support network, particularly her friends who tried to reach her in the final days. Molly, one of Caroline's closest confidants, shares her experience of being unable to get in touch with Caroline on the day of her death, raising alarms that eventually led to emergency intervention. Voice notes, texts, and other personal communications featured in the series offer viewers an intimate look at Caroline's mounting distress. These elements are presented not for sensationalism, but to give insight into the psychological toll of relentless media attention and public speculation. The series underscores the need for empathy, mental health awareness, and nuanced reporting, suggesting that the combination of personal crisis and public scrutiny can have devastating consequences. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of Search for the Truth is Christine Flack's persistence in seeking justice for her daughter. She engages with former prosecutors, legal experts, and investigative journalists to question whether alternative legal responses, such as a police caution or a less punitive approach, could have prevented the tragic outcome. The series does not shy away from difficult questions about accountability, ethics, and the intersection of celebrity and law. It also emphasizes the human cost of media sensationalism, demonstrating how public figures, particularly women in the spotlight, can be subjected to disproportionate judgment and scrutiny. By focusing on thorough investigation rather than exploitation, the series serves as both a memorial to Caroline and a critique of societal and institutional failings. As Search for the Truth comes to a close, it leaves viewers reflecting on Caroline Flack's enduring legacy and the urgent conversations her story continues to inspire. The series does more than revisit the tragic events of early 2020. It highlights systemic issues in how the justice system and media handle cases involving vulnerable public figures. Christine Flack's relentless pursuit of answers emphasizes the importance of advocacy and parental vigilance in moments of crisis. Experts interviewed in the series stress the necessity of early mental health intervention and compassionate legal approaches. The documentary also serves as a reminder that behind the headlines and social media narratives, there are real people experiencing fear, isolation, and profound distress. By blending forensic investigation, personal testimony, and ethical critique, the series not only honors Caroline's memory, but challenges society to rethink how fame, law, and mental health intersect in today's media landscape.